Hey, it's Chris with People, Places, and Parables, the podcast for positive people. I just wanted to tell you the good news. I have now recorded 12 podcast interviews. The most recent one with Chachi LaPrette, who is the host of Breakfast with the Beatles. And yes, years ago, he interviewed George Harrison. There's also multiple interviews with Paul McCartney, Sir Paul McCartney, as well as Ringo Starr. And that was our 12th podcast, and it's a whole hour of fascinating Beatle trivia, fun facts, and we're planning to do another one this fall, hopefully in honor of John Lennon's birthday, which is October 9th, which is also the same birthday as Jackson Browne, former Governor Paul LePage, and that Christopher Olson guy who does the podcasts. I wanted to let you know if you haven't checked out the podcasts channel yet, we're on Spotify, on YouTube. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. And I'm not being conceited to say that I've met some really great people doing these podcasts. The very first one I did was with Kyle Tardy, who lives in the Tree Streets neighborhood. He's a wonderful neighbor, and he has started a pet food pantry for his own neighborhood, which is super duper cool. We also did Community Closet with Sarah Bowden, Community Closet 207 out of Ellsworth. She and her daughter and son run it now, and they do a lot for people that are struggling down in the Hancock County area. Speaking of Hancock County and Washington County, they are now part of the Aroostook County Action Program. I actually had the opportunity to speak with the director of the program, which now covers 3 counties, Jason Parent, and it was an absolute pleasure to learn about all the different things that they do. And he is actually boots on the ground, gone through a lot of the programs in person, whether it's the transportation, the heating program, and so forth. So he's a real down to earth guy that knows about the programs. Also had the wonderful opportunity to interview one of my heroes named Scott Pardy, Pardy, not Party. Why? Because you gotta. Scott, years ago, was asked by his sponsor to go to the Penobscot County Jail and run the Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. He witnessed people being released from Penobscot County Jail at midnight in Bangor, and he said they didn't have a chance. In his words, he saw them go back to encampments, he saw them go back to crack houses, and he ended up paying off his own house, and he bought one house and made it available to people that are working to recover. That's a number of years ago now, because now there's 23 sober living houses, and I can almost guarantee you by the time you hear this, there's another project he's working on, which is going to mean even more opportunity for people. It's self-sustaining. They never kick people out. In other words, if you're doing well with your program, they're not going to say, hey, you know what? You're doing great with your program, but in a couple of months, we're going to need your room or your bed. No, the people that graduate from there, a lot of them become house managers. It's an incredibly wonderful program. Heart of Maine United Way. We have a lot of different programs that do a lot of support for a lot of nonprofits. Welcome to Housing is one of them that receives money from a payroll deduction from one of our volunteers. The Finance Authority of Maine, if you have an outstanding student loan and you're struggling, you want to talk to FAME. And I don't mean Irene Cara, I mean the Finance Authority of Maine. I had 2 ladies from Finance Authority of Maine on my podcast. You can also check out the Director of Community Health and Counseling, Dale Hamilton. Yours truly is going to become a corporate member of Community Health and Counseling, which has been around since 1883. That means I'll get to be among a lot of wonderful people that are reaching out in the community to see what can be done different or better, and to really keep a pulse on what's going on out there. And they cover a huge swath of land in the state of Maine. They help a lot of people, and they have been doing that since 1883. Also, the Homeless Remembrance Blanket Project. My wife takes part in that by making quilts. Pat LaMarche started out as a one-shot event. It's been going on for several years now. One year they actually covered the entire lawn of the United States Capitol with quilts, blankets to bring awareness to the homeless situation. And then those quilts and blankets get given out to the homeless people and people that are struggling. The Service Corps of Retired Executives. That was a lot of fun because we had Welcome to Housing's mentor, Dennis Wint, being interviewed, along with the chapter chair for Northern Maine, David Green. Now, in addition to getting a successful nonprofit award, Welcome to Housing had a ball with that, and we're doing a lot of work with Dennis. He's doing so much for us. David Green, who heads up the chapter of the Service Corps of Retired Executives for Northern Maine, with all of 14, count them, 14 mentors. That chapter, Northern Maine chapter with 14 mentors, this year got the chapter of the year for the Service Corps of Retired Executives for the entire United States of America. Now, that's obviously quality. So that's really exciting. Also have Penobscot County Cares with Doug Dunbar. That's an organization that welcomes a lot of people from all around Penobscot County and beyond. And the three areas of focus: increasing access to substance use disorder. Like they said years ago when I worked at Hope House, trying drugs or alcohol is a choice. Getting addicted is not. Increasing access to mental health services. And third, which is the biggie, they're all intertwined, is the homeless and housing crisis. That's Penobscot County Cares. As a matter of fact, one of the people that takes part in that from time to time is a wonderful lady who is an advocate for the homeless out in Seattle, Washington. And if you've ever seen Invisible People, the program that they have online, years ago, there was this lady who was laughing, smiling, crying, was actually living under a bridge in Seattle. She went to Seattle for a medical procedure, couldn't afford to stay in a hotel, and she was literally living under a bridge. Come to find out, that's the same lady that is now doing well and is an advocate for people. She actually came to the state of Maine a while back, and I actually had an opportunity to get her over to Channel 5 and meet with Sierra Dubois and be interviewed. And it was about the same time that they were having the encampments being closed out. Gentiva Hospice is the other one that we just had right before the Breakfast with the Beatles host. And Gentiva Hospice is amazing. If you've ever been around somebody right near the end of their life, hospice is such an important program because, like she said in the interview, everyone dies. And nobody wants to be alone when they go. Truly don't want to be alone. And that was an incredible interview. I learned so much, like I'm learning all the time from all these interviews. And the next one I have planned is with the director of the Ronald McDonald Houses for Bangor and Portland. And here's the thing that was really, really, really flattering. I opened up my phone one day and I got a text message from the director of the two Ronald McDonald Houses. And it was a really simple message. I would like to be on your podcast. You have no idea how good that feels. It's like the first time Welcome to Housing was contacted by the American Red Cross. Or after I had heart surgery and I was in recovery and I got contacted by FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Those are two incredible organizations, and to be contacted by them asking for help from Welcome to Housing, wow, that's really something. By the way, the Chachi Lepret Breakfast of the Beatles host, that's a whole hour long, and if you go into the YouTube link, you will find direct links to two of his sites. The Beatles are still influencing people. Ringo and Paul are still active. Their music changed the world. It inspired people, and it had a lot of positive influence as well. So don't forget to check out People, Places, and Parables, the Positive Podcast. And if you ever hear me say, my blood type is B positive, it's true. I don't like vitriol. So there, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.